Salutations all. So we wanted to jump on today with a quick share, something of a life lesson, thought that you can take with you to help you through your daily decision making. Maybe not, but it's interesting anyway. So once upon a time, there was this group of people that decided that certain parts of animals just weren't for them. I mean, my word, I would never. And so they would throw these scraps out to other people's who would then turn them into delicious meals. And this happens time and time again throughout history. And some of the most favorite things and those best dishes that you enjoy are derivatives of those actions. So once the original group of people realized, oh my gosh, that food is so delicious, then they decided that they wanted it back, of course, and jacked the price up on it. But, that's neither here nor there. The point is that from those scraps, we were able to make delicious meals. What am I rambling on about today? Well, today we're going to do oxtails. Oxtails. You gotta put that sound there. No? Alright. We're going to do oxtails. For those that are truly questioning if they're oxtails, they're actually oxtails. They're the tails of something oxen-like. So, anywho, let's get into this adventure. Alright, let's talk about our mise en place. What are we going to need today? Now, I like to season mine up. I let them rest for a little bit. You want to let the meat come up to at least room temperature, right? We're going to sear it off in my cast iron or whatever you've got. And then we're going to get it thrown into a crock pot. So the seasonings that we're going to use today, of course, salt and pepper. I've also got a little bit of seasoned salt. I've got 1 cup of beef stock sitting aside. Of course, my favorite, garlic. I've got a little bit of clove, little nuggets, not the powdered stuff. 1 onion, a little paprika. And then, of course, the Worcestershire sauce. An onion, like I said before. And then, what I like to do, and this is a little bit different than maybe some people. I'm not from the islands, so I don't really know how they get down. But I was inspired by another individual, and I like the way they do it. Now, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use the canned beans there. So I got some cannelli. A lot of the times I'll use butter beans, but I always use the black beans as well. And I add those in later in the process after I've got them into the crock pot and they're able to do their thing. And that's really it. Later on we'll make some rice and really tear this thing down. But let's get into the seasoning process. Alright, so first thing first in our seasoning process, I'm going to go in with my favorite item, of course, garlic. And we're going to do 2 heaping tablespoons of garlic. Heaping meaning that we don't level it off, right? It's just whatever comes in. Go with that. Alright, so next up we're going to go in with salt, with the plain salt. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of salt. And of course all of this again is going to vary. I'm doing quite a bit here, close to 10 pounds of flesh goodness. And remember, we can always add through the process. You can't take away. So if you don't feel comfortable adding that much, or you have, medical issues and you've got to really pay attention to it, please go slow. Taste it as it cooks. Add more as you need, right? All right, next in, we're going to do black pepper. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of black pepper. Just the one. All right. Next up is going to be the seasoned salt. We're going to do a tablespoon, so that's 1.5 teaspoons, right? Because 3 teaspoons makes a tablespoon. We're going to do half a tablespoon of that. Okay. Then we're going to get our hands in there. Get these nicely coated all over. After we get these bad boys rubbed down, like I said, we're going to let them sit about 5 to 10 minutes or so. Let that salt begin to do its job, break things down. We'll get them seared off in the cast iron, which I've got heating over here. Once we got them nice and browned on all sides, we're going to get them into the crock pot with our last few ingredients. Then it's just the weight game, man. It's just the weight game. How long you cook it, that's really going to vary. Because as you can see, you get all kinds of pieces, different sizes in there, right? So you can time to sit. Now we're going to go ahead and sear these bad boys off. Get the house smelling absolutely delicious. Little spray in my cast iron there, just a touch. I'm going to start off with the larger pieces, just for room purposes, just to make sure I can fit them all in there. Man, look at this monster. Look at that monster. It's a steak right there. Alright, we'll get what we can to fit in here for this first round. I'm just going to let them do their thing. We're going to sear them off on all sides, right? We're just going to let them chill for a little bit. We're going to rotate them, let them chill, rotate again. Trying to sear off all sides. Once we get these big boys out, we will get the rest of these little tidbits in. Get these into the crock pot. Let them go for a couple hours on low. Now, if you've never had these, you are absolutely missing out. I mean, absolutely missing out. Funny little story. My brief visit with the military, went to basic training at Fort Jackson, and the ladies there made a meal of oxtail and neck bones. I don't know if it was for Thanksgiving. It was for Thanksgiving. Never seen so many people skip over the hotline. And a good buddy of mine, Mr. Ward, decided he would try them after I gave him a little bit of push. Once he got this deliciousness in his mouth, it was... Alright, so we are out of the cast iron and into the crock. Make sure you scrape the bottom of your seasoning bowl there. Get all that goodness. You don't want to waste that. Going to go in with our beef stock. Just drizzle that right on top there. Right on top. Got the Worcestershire added to that. Throw in my onion. Okay. I'm going to throw in 2 bay leaves. Okay. And then I pour in my beans. Now you can use dried beans for this as well. When I have them, I often do. And just remember that if you're going to do the dry beans, you're going to want to go in with a little more liquid, right? To help those beans get cooked up proper. You're going to get pebbles in your meal if you don't. So I'm going in with mine. I pour the liquid off of my canned beans there. Put them right on top. Might have underestimated the size of these oxtail. Almost forgot. I throw in 2 little clove nugs in there as well. Just 2. And like I said, I don't use the...
6.5 hours later.
It has been a long day of waiting for this meal to be done. So what you guys did not see is once the oxtails were done, falling off the bone, I took a lot of the juice out of that crock pot, put it on the stove, and tightened it down with a little bit of a slurry to keep it gluten-free. And then I pour that back in, because I like my sauce to be more gravyish with the rice. Serving this with just a plain white rice, nothing done to it. Remember that rice and beans together create a total nutrient. It's everything that you need, right? It's a total nutrient. So you'll see in a lot of countries around the world, rice and beans as a staple to their diet. But the young sir is here with me, and he wanted to be the official taste tester of this dish before our guests arrive. So I'm going to let him get in here and try it out and tell you what he thinks. Careful, it's probably pretty hot.
Probably. Most likely. I mean, it's been sitting in a crock pot for hours, so likewise. Okay, very good.
All right. So we'll post a picture of the bowl. Like I said, it's a very plain bowl. It's very low country type food, so it's nothing fancy, not pretty, but I'm going to show you the plated up version of it there. We hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for joining us on another adventure.